everybody, today I am bringing you a layout with a photo of one of my closest friends and her daughter, and that's also her son-in-law in the background, but I'm really scrapbooking about their relationship, and not only do they have a great mother-daughter relationship, but they really like each other and are friends as well. So I wanted to get that documented. They were standing all together and I just said, hey, let me take a quick picture of you, and that's what happened with this one. Now I gutted this paper because I want to use that to mat that photo, but I also know that this paper would make a great background frame, and so I gutted it so I can use that frame if I want to, but I can also use the inside as well. So that's why I did that. I absolutely love this paper, and I wanted something special to go on it. So I love this special photograph too, and that's where that comes from. So the background paper there with the cool sort of geometric color blocking there is from Simple Stories Posh as well, and it's called Live Simply. I may have actually switched the paper name. So the color block background paper is Live Simply, and the polka dot is I Love Life, just in case I screwed that up. So I am kind of looking at the sticker sheets and trying to figure out what I'm going to do there, because I know I want to use that transparency camera in the bottom right for a couple of reasons, which I'll tell you about in just a little bit. And I find also the die cut pack there, and that's where that little banner that says good stuff came from. That is the Simple Stories Carpe Diem Posh Bits and Pieces. So Carpe Diem is their planner line, and Posh is within that as well. So some of these things are items made for planners as well, but you can also obviously use them for scrapbooking. So I did find that sticker, and that sticker came off of the Simple Stories combo cardstock stickers, they're called. That's what that piece is called. So I'll be using that as well, and I'm kind of thinking about what I want to do here, how I want to maybe fill things up. And I'm looking, and I find these little flowers within the bits and pieces, and I really like that. It adds something. I want to do something to call even more attention to that flower in the bottom right there, but I'm not sure exactly what I want to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut that acetate out, or that camera out away from the acetate or transparency, and then I will put it on the bottom. Part of the reason I want to to do that is I do want to somehow stick this down as well too. So now I found that, and I like the way the flower looks on there. It's not going to stay there because I'm going to embellish something a little bit differently here. Now I've decided I definitely want to put that little banner die cut up at the top, so I'm getting out my roll of foam tape, which is the big roll of foam tape, and there's not very much left on there. You've heard me say that before if you've watched my channel before. And then I'm going to stick that little die cut flower from the bits and pieces, that navy one, up at the top there. I like how it brings the navy from that bottom right corner up to the top, because there's a lot of kind of pinky corally colors up there, but not so much navy. And now what I'm doing is I've gone to look for adhesive, and this is going to be a little bit of a fiasco. So I grabbed my Glue Dots vellum adhesive, which comes on this sheet, and then you just put your item on it. But I wasn't really watching how the transparency was, and I realized I put the adhesive on the front of the camera versus on the back where it really belonged. And you could tell the front and the back from this transparency, obviously, because it says life captured. Otherwise it wouldn't have been such a big deal. So now I have to go get my undo adhesive, and I can't find my cloth that came with the undo, so I'm using a Kleenex, which comes off with this, but whatever. It's getting it mostly off because I don't have another one of these transparencies, so I need to use it. And I have a hard time using these 4x6 transparencies, and this one came, I should actually tell you where that came from. It came from the Simple Stories Life Documented collection, from the transparencies from that collection. Or not transparencies, it came from the collection pack, which had transparencies in it. Let me rephrase that. So I'm still kind of working with that a little bit, and now I got the adhesive on the correct side. So you have to kind of rub this adhesive so you don't see it. And I can see a little tiny bit of it, but certainly nothing compared to what it really could be. So now I've decided that I want to embellish a little bit more here and maybe put a brad in the middle of the camera lens. I like to do that. So I found one I liked, and that's the self-adhesive brads from the Posh collection. The one thing that's really nice about these is they are self-adhesive, so there's no prongs to worry about having to poke through anything. And then if I wanted to, I could put a little extra adhesive, and I'm going to do that behind that brad to really hold that camera on a little bit more. I wasn't sure how well that would hold. And then now I'm going to take off that sticker, but I realized that it's really stuck down to that acetate really, really well. I should have probably used my wax paper there, but oh well, live and learn. So I want that to be dimensional as well. Since the brad is dimensional and the banner is dimensional, I want the flower to be dimensional too. So that's a good use for all that foam tape. This is why I love the big roll, because I feel like I can get as much adhesive and much of that dimensional tape on as I want, because it's so much less expensive than buying it in small quantities. And I don't like it when my pieces collapse in the middle. I know some people are like, you know, just slap a little bit on and they're good with that, and that's great. I'm good with them being good with that. But on my own personal projects, I really want the back of things to be fairly well covered. Sometimes when I do a photo, like, I will leave gaps in between, but most of the time I'm covering the item pretty well. So now I have that all covered, and now I have to get the little backing pieces off, which is not easy when you don't have fingernails like I do, or don't, I should say. That's what happens when you're a massage therapist. You never have fingernails. All right. So now I'm going to figure out how to put that on. And I know I need to journal somewhere. I'm thinking I can journal in that coral space, but I'm not sure that's going to be the right place. It's like one of those things. I'll see what works. And I'm pulling my wax paper because I want the title to be The Best of Friends. I know for sure I'm going to do the word friends in these navy letters, but I'm not sure how the rest of the title is going to work. I'm thinking that I want to nestle it right below the photo, kind of between the space of the flowers and the photo itself. But I'm going to need the wax paper to make sure that that will work okay for me. So that's why I'm using it. Those letter stickers came from the Simple Stories Carpe Diem Posh Combo cardstock stickers as well, and I just used those on my last layout. I'm making a real effort with this collection to try to use the letter stickers that come with it, even though I tend to like letter stickers that are more dimensional. I use a lot of pattern paper, and I think that's why I really like the dimensional stickers, because you don't have large blocks of a solid color to really help that stand out for you. And then I went to my little bin of letter stickers that sits, the mini ones that I use for subtitles, that sits right to my left hand, and found an alphabet there from my little shoebox, and it's called the mini alphabet sticker, and the color is blush. And so I know that there'll be enough spacing there. I do look at using perhaps the Simple Stories letter stickers in the aqua, but the aqua is very blue compared to the green that this aqua is, so I don't think I'll like that in the end and decide not to try it. And instead I go back. These are Ransom Note, kind of like Ransom Note, because I think each letter has about 4 or 5 different fonts to it. And if I remember correctly, there's 2 sheets of everything. So there's a lot of letters, little mini letter stickers. I have these in lots of different colors. I saw Chamel using hers on one of her more recent videos, and I thought, oh, I really need to use those more often. I'm not using them like I should be. I probably never have to buy another letter sticker, but I'm pretty sure I will. I just like them a lot. All right, so I got best of in there, and I think originally I was going to call this best of friends, but then decided it felt like there was a little bit of a gap there that I needed to fill in. So once I put the in there, it felt like it filled that in. Now I'm just looking to see if there's anything else that I want to use to embellish the layout. I'm looking at how do I journal here. Do I want to use some sort of tag? Do I have a journaling piece or a sticker that I might want to use to journal on? And I didn't find anything there either. And I'm just double checking again because I can't believe I don't have 3x4 cards. And again. And I just know that a square is not going to work with this. It'll throw the balance off. So I'm looking for something that's rectangular that I can use. And I kind of think about using that card. So I'm going to try that, just using like the square portion of it. I liked the sentiment on it. But then I determined, no, that the square isn't going to look right, that I was right with my first instinct there. So I just cut off the piece that made it into a rectangle, and I decided to journal on that because I have a dark pen, so that'll work just fine. Okay. And now I want a little bit of something up on the top there to kind of embellish the card. And I find one of the little bits and pieces flowers there in yellow. And that just brings the layout a little bit more together there. As your eye is going through the layout, you kind of go from the banner up there to that little flower down to the title block with the flowers, and then to that acetate camera on the bottom as your eye goes across the page. That flower just helped it a little bit. It also helped keep that card from blending into the background. I could have used it inked it, but I decided not to. I just decided just to use the flower to do that. I am just about done writing, and I'm just about done with the layout, so please stay tuned for the still shot and the detail shots. Those will be coming up. Hope you are all well, and I will be back with another video soon. Bye!